Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Just putting that. Please, join and then ask the questions if you have really want to clarify kind of a concept related to the business analyst. Its roles and responsibilities, the organizations, how it works, day-to-day activities, etc., etc. You are welcome. Yeah. Okay. Please ask your questions here. Okay. So yeah, please ask your questions. Okay, and then I will be try my best to respond on that. Okay. So see nowadays. Meanwhile, just to give a little bit exposure of what's going on in the current IT industries. So we are seeing a lot of changes in terms of traditional IT, the work style. Now the roles also a little bit changing. If I talk about earlier, there were system-based applications, right? It's like you need to install installer in that in your system, desktop base or laptop, and then you will execute the exe and then it will run and then you do the job. It will store in your local database, and then you have to establish a VPN. That's a later change, earlier it was standalone and data is stored in your local database, in your local hard disk, basically your laptop or system. Later VPN comes where you will be connecting the establishing the network between your server, which might be some other location, some other city, and then you will be accessing that system based application from your laptop, from your desktop, and then when you save any data, it basically save in that server, which is connected through your VPN. uh, so that's the evolution we see. Okay. So instead of storing in the local database, it gets stored into the VPN connected server, which might be in different city, different state. Okay. Now if you see the evolution, okay, so evolution from local data, local system hard disk, then a server which might be located to some other city or state, and then cloud based. Cloud based means you basically it's a web based. Now it's no more system based application, it's now a web based application. When I say web based application, it means you will be running your application on browser rather than you will be installing something in your local system and clicking on exe file, and then it open kind of very normal screen, and then you will be capturing your day-to-day activities. But now it's a web-based application. It means it is giving the leverage to the users to access that application across the world. No need to carry any specific device where you will be get forced to install the software and then only you will be able to access. No, it's a web-based application. As long as you will be having a valid credentials, login, username and password, you can access that application across anywhere from any system. I can, if I don't have, my mobile got stolen on my laptop, I forgot somewhere, it got stolen, and it is an urgent transaction I have to make. As long as you remember your valid credentials, you log in that in any your friend, your colleague's laptop and system, and you can do that transaction because it's a it's basically a web-based application. Okay. Hey Rashekar, hi, good morning, thanks for joining. So that's the evolution. And then there's a cloud. Why the cloud comes in picture, guys, please post your questions so that I can respond. Okay, I will be here till next 30 minutes. Okay, so please ask your questions which you are thinking, real challenges in your day-to-day activity. I refer person Prashant. Thank you very much, Rashekar. Thank you very much. Thank you. See, when we share knowledge, definitely See, the whole objective once I started my this YouTube channel is that only, see, giving the, see, I remember one of my senior, he was in BTech senior actually. So I was taking help from him on DA concept, DEA, the data algorithm analysis. We have in BTech one subject DA. I found very difficult, but the way my senior helped me, the concept clarity and all that, I really appreciate at till today as well, because even though I'm not utilizing that information, but yes, of course, it was useful during my academics. I don't have a direct connection with him. I don't know where he is now, but I always memorize him as his effort he has given on my clearing the concept on the DA. So sharing knowledge is always a great thing. So yes, please, share these my videos channel to your friend and circle. They will also, if they can learn something from this my channel, definitely it's a great I mean, it will really appreciate to me. Yeah. It boosts my confidence, it boosts my thought process, like I have to keep on giving that contribution to the community. Okay. Okay, so what I was telling, so once we have a cloud based, why we are moving to the cloud based solutioning. So till web based application is still you will be having the on prem, you can have the servers, but cloud based comes in picture where you will be basing putting everything on the cloud. So cloud service provider are the Amazon web services, Microsoft Azure. So these are Oracle cloud. So a lot of OCI we call it. So these companies basically providing you the hosting facility where your application will be hosted, as well as a database requirement, system requirement, infra requirement, performance. They will take care everything. You just need to code your application, deploy it. Rest up, they will be making sure any NFR, non-functional requirement like availability, performance, everything they will take care. Okay. Okay, so now how the evolution further changing is, the traditional approach of application is going away, where the only one application they develop and deploy for internal users or for external users. External user is client users. Now it's changing. How they are coming up with the platform. The platform is the something where you will be having your different applications. Okay, different applications. So if a user, I am a user of this application, this application, this application, I no need to go and remember or bookmark these three different applications URL at. No need, right? Because once I come to this platform, I can access any of them. Correct. So single authentication authorization definitely is helping a lot in this kind of environment. Okay. Okay, so Rashikar, yeah, but mentor require those who beginner. Okay, I mean, see, you know my email ID. If mm, I don't know, you can directly message me there. Okay, if you need any personal assistance and all that. I don't know if my videos itself is helping a lot. So please go through them. If you see it's not working out, you need personal assistance and all that. Please, you know. Okay, so what is that when I'm using a Scrum framework? Okay, the question is, yeah, I know. Thank you, Rashekar. Yeah, your video, with your videos, anyone can get be a job. I know people actually got that. See, I was just seeing that yesterday. The how much people got engaged with my videos is little disappointing. 2 minutes, 3 minutes maximum. I can see people are engaging. Half an hour, 1 hour video, I'm putting a lot of information there, and people are just watching for 2 minutes and going away. They might be having some other priorities, cricket match, video, other movies, and all that, right? I know, I understand. Nowadays, people don't want to learn, on the social media. They want to explore different things on social media. When they hold the mobile or laptop, they don't want to learn the things, want to entertain themselves. Okay, but whoever is sincere looking for a job change, who literally want to have learn the things, definitely is very I will say, I see whatever I am having the understanding on the things, I'm just putting everything for you guys, okay? And nothing I'm hiding, like I'm keeping some information with me, I'm not sharing. It's not like that. Whatever I have, whatever expertization I have, learning so far my career, I'm putting everything, okay? So spend some time on these videos. I think you don't need anything else, okay? So your question, Rasikar, when I'm using Scrum framework, okay, it if we are not using BRD, then what documentation are we using? So Rashekar, it is purely depend on the organization or and the client. Like they want the requirements in a form of BRD or in form of a epic and user story. So if I have worked in both kind of clients and companies, where a client was developing a product. So they said, boss, you will develop the software, but at end we also want to see the overall functional requirements, where is for my system need to be captured somewhere. That's where we created very specifically BRD for them, just for their and it was a live document till we close that project. So we will keep on updating the new requirements. If they feel realize like, oh no no, we captured something wrong, or you need to update that requirement, so we were changing. So finally, whatever the products we have developed for them, the application, they will be having one replica same requirements document with them, so that if somebody is joining in that organization, they will just push that BRD. They will get that understanding, okay, what is application, in which technology it was built, what are the functionalities it is containing within that application. Like it is helping. But 99% organization don't do that. They go with the epic and user stories. So basically from Jira and Riley also, you can export all those user stories, into Excel sheet, into a document, into a PDF. So no need to create a separate BRD as such. Okay, we can go with the agile practice, create that epic and use the story, and if required for somebody's reference, you can export it and share it. Okay, so your question, answer to your question is, instead of BRD, we create epic and user stories in the agile Scrum process. Okay, so there is no sign off process in agile scrum process. Okay, in agile scrum, you create that backlog. You will discuss with the client, you understand the requirement, you create that product backlog, right? I mean, you will create the epic and user stories in backlog. Backlog means you will keep on creating the stories, but you have not prioritized them for your sprint. Okay, so keep on creating. Now, once you created, now your prioritization comes. So that's the first confirmation or sign off. It's not like they will give a sign off on a document or something. Okay, it's an agreement when you discuss requirement user stories with the client to prioritization point of view. They themselves is giving you their consent. Okay, these are my prioritized user story, take it forward into this sprint. Now important phase comes, sprint demo. When you demonstrate that user stories end of the sprint to the client, and client agrees, and you accept that it's his stories, and you send a MOM back to the client. This is what we have demonstrated. This is what the feedback we have received. These many participants we have attended in this demo. These are the demo URL. You might be recording that session. Say send it everything through email. That's where officially you are declaring whatever the sprint level functionalities you have developed agreed by the client. Khatam. Okay. Okay. Your Sunday discussion session very helpful. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Rajshekar. Yeah. See, that's why keeping this time. I mean, Saturday, Sunday, both days, so that people who doesn't cannot join on Saturday, they can at least join on Sunday. But it's still, I don't see people having time. But it's okay. I will do my job. Okay. So okay. So your next question is, what is different, epic, and feature? What is difference between, I think you're trying to ask. Oh yeah, it's a good question actually. Nice question, Rashekar. These kind of questions, in the interview, interviewer may ask you to test your general understanding on these artifacts. So sometimes people know these things, but try when they try to explain, they fail to explain basically. They don't able to consolidate their thought process in the form of a sentence where they can explain this to the interviewer in the way he want to listen. Okay, so the epic difference between epic and feature, basically uh, epic can contain multiple features. So uh, epic is a broader perspective of your requirement. So take example, when you create application, you may be having 10 epics or 15 epics or 20 epics based on the size of, or how big your application you are developing. So one epic can float into multiple iteration or sprints. So we create epic, under that we create user stories. So one epic can contains multiple features. So a feature is not related to a document. Sorry, feature is not a prosperity, or not prosperity. I mean, it's not a essential part of any BRD or SRS only. Feature is the application property. It's very tightly close with your application you are developing. So if you are representing the application functionality in a form of a epic, then epic contains those features. So within that epic, you will define what are the, I need one login. That's one of the feature. After login, there is a dashboard. That's another feature. On the dashboard, I want to see some data analytics, some quick access for the some data analytics basically, like how many sales happen last seven days, how many purchase order has been placed in last 1 month, and what is that total amount. Okay, that kind of a quick insights you can be on the dashboard. So the another feature of the application. So one epic can contain multiple features, and that's what you will be breaking down into different user stories. So if somebody is asking you what is the difference between epic and feature, basically your straightforward question is, one epic can contains multiple features, as simple as. Okay, I hope I have answered you, Rashekar, right? Yeah. Okay. So see, sometimes during the interview, you have to think twice, thrice in your mind before answering. Okay. Can you explain about what is this one? Can you explain about why we are going story point, why not hours or days? So user story, we there is a very separate video I have created, Rashekar. If you have time, you can go through that video also. User stories and all that. Okay, I've explained, but just let me explain you again, quicker way. See, story points is a kind of a representation of the complexity and criticality of the user story. So you will be having a Fibonacci series. These are some standard practice. Okay, so in inside, I mean, in background, each story point represents some hours only. Take example, one story point. It's organization. We can decide together as a team, your project manager, your developers, scrum master, your testers. You can sit together and decide, agreed, like one day, how much what is that productive hour. So it's a 8 hours or 6 hours or 9 hours. Generally total 9 hours, right, per day, we go for a company, in a company to work. But not all 9 hours go into the production. Sometimes goes into discussions, breaks, tea breaks, lunch and all that. So that's why we want to consider only the productive hours. When I say productive hours, basically you want to represent in some kind of a story point. That's a standard practice of the agile. Okay, so it's a Fibonacci series, 1 2 3 5 8, like that. So 8 represents, you can decide that, you can agree within your team. 8 represents, as per my thought process, one developer if get 8 story point related work within that sprint, it means he is fully occupied for 10 days of development, right? You're to having 14 days, right? 2 week 2 days will go in the weekend, I mean Saturday Sunday, only 12 days. Out of 12 days, 10 days for development, and then 2 days for testing. So 60 hours or 80 hours per day, 8 hours or 6 hour के हिसाब से you will having the maximum hours. So if he's having 8 story points, that could represent your full capacity for that sprint. So user story level, you decide these one story point effort or two story point effort. I mean, if based on what is the complex, how much effort is required, how much coding it is required, how much database tables we have to create for this story. Everything developers visualize and then give this story points. If you see only 1 day is enough, he will give one story point. If you say 2 days will require, he will give two story point. If you say 3 or 4 days, they will give three story point. If you say, oh, I need 5 or 6 or 8 days, then he will give the five story point. If you say, oh, I need all 10 days for this development, then it will ask you to give the 8 story points. Okay, but you as a business analyst, you should be taking care, like you should be breaking down the story. If it is going beyond that 8 story point, you should break down. You should break down that story into the multiple user stories, so that none of user story points increase beyond the 8 story points. Okay, and then when you create a task for that story, user story, then developer gives the required effort in hours. So hours we give in the task level, not the user story level. User story level we give only the story points. Okay, so one is, I was telling you the same thing, right, Rajshekhar? It depends on the, there is no standard. There is nowhere it is mentioned across. If you Google it, also nowhere you will find different logic. But it's up to the organization. If your organization working hours are 9 hours, and you see there is a productive hours are 8 hours or 6 hours, you can consider one story points equals to 8 hour or 6 hours. It's a basically representing your total number of days. See how that story point complexity we determine. You pick up, suppose there are 10 stories, user stories are there. So you will discuss, you pick this smallest and easiest story and discuss and give that marking, one story point or two story point or three or jo bhi hai, for the easiest and smallest user story in that sprint. When you done that, then you pick up the next story, you discuss these things. And you, when you discuss these things, basically you will be basically comparing that new story with that easiest one. Then you compare how much complex this story is compared to the previous one, which we have already estimated, which we have already discussed how much is complex. So if you have given one and it seems little more complex compared to the previous one, you give the two story points. If you have given the first story point 3, and you see this is to new story user story is little easy compared to the previous story you have discussed, which you have given 3 story point, you can give two story point soon. So you have to take up as a one base story, and from there you just need to compare to the other stories complexity. And that complexity rating is nothing but in the story points, 1 2 3 5 8. That is the Fibonacci series. Okay, so hours representing is totally depend on the organization to organization. As per my understanding, one story point represent half day or 1 day effort. Two story point require 2 or 3 days efforts. Three story point requires refers like 3 to 5 days efforts. Five story points referred 5 to 8 days efforts, and then eight story points refers 8 to 10 days efforts. That's how you need to visualize in terms of hours, and each day hour is 8 hours working productive hours. Okay. How we know the developers working correct effort putting their story point, so that's up to you, right? See, if you, that's why when you go into that experience, you get that getting that experience in the BA area, you know these tools and technology, software coding, coding not level of coding, but at least you should understand, are bhai, to do this writing this API, how much complex is this one, or developing this UI, why it is taking so much time, it is having 5 6 text field, one drop down, save button, and there is a one backend table, that's it. Why, how much time it will take? So based on experience you can always argue with that, but always it's a pure decision of the developer. And there is a team leader responsibility who comes from the technical, I mean engineering side, developer side. He will ensure they are not overcommitting. When you say overcommitting, this is a matter of overcommitment. I mean, you know it's an easy job, but you are intentionally overcommitting unnecessary. Okay. So it's a team responsibility. Okay. I'm saying three story point, but you will not say anything, brother. Why you will know? You, it's not your. You are not going to go and implement. You will not give any time, any suggestion on the story points. No, you will just explain the feature, user story, epic. That's it. You will just explain the user story. They have to come up with that story points, not you. Okay. So if they are, you think they are over committing, you can ask your project manager, your team leader, can you please have a look why the team is coming so much uh, story points, right? It seems like easy, but they are two cases, right? Either they don't have the requirement clarity, that's why they are giving so much requirements. If they having a clarity, and then them that also they are giving this higher estimation, it means they are over committing unnecessary, intentionally. Okay. If they are don't have a clarity, you can re-explain them again, explain till that you should be explaining them till they don't get the clarity. Okay, they should not have any question in their mind in terms of requirement clarity. Okay. Okay, guys, so for now, keep your question with you. You can keep posting your questions on the video chat and all that, and then I will be joining next week Saturday and Sunday. I will be answering all those questions. Okay. So guys, keep learning, keep watching these videos, keep sharing these videos. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye.